to get through it. Um, this is Track Girl Summer presented by World's Greatest. I am your host, Natasha Hastings, with my co host, Corey Carter. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, IG, Natasha Hastings. Follow the Corey Monster, Instagram, IG, Twitter.
You know where to find me.
Yeah. Follow the World's Greatest on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow Track Girl Summer. The Twitter things are popping off now. We do our predictions every day, and you can interact with us on Twitter about our interactions because we go and post there after.
About our predictions.
About our Hustle Clean podium predictions.
You said you can interact with us about our interactions.
Did I say that?
Yeah, it's okay. I got you.
I'm still drinking my coffee.
You also didn't let me do our jingle, but
oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Track Girl Summer. Track Girl Summer. I'm gonna need you to at least get a hand clap from you.
I'm still drinking my coffee. It's still early. Excuse me. Yeah. Did you check our IG this morning?
Apparently closing on 1,300.
Hey, thank you. So keep following us on IG. Follow us on YouTube. We're going to get the interviews that we've done up on our YouTube channel. So you can go and check that out. Yeah.
What do you have in store for today?
Today, man, it's going to be an amazing day. First of all, oh wait, I'm skipping things. We bring the culture to track and field.
I noticed that, but I just let you have that one because I was like, she's already.
I'm trying to get it going. Anyway, we bring the culture to track and field. No, I got it. I got it. Thank you. We'll be coming to you every day. Today is Thursday. We've got 2 more days after today. We've been bringing you predictions, our shenanigans, great guests. We have more amazing guests today. But before we get into who our guests are, track and field. I haven't had time to watch any other sport in the Olympics because track is life. And boy, oh boy, we have some amazing performances, but then some disappointments to discuss. But we're going to give Ryan Crouser
and Joe Kovac showdown in the shot put.
And then we'll talk about some relay talk. And then we will be joined by none other than Bianca Knight and Tyson Gay. So it's a relay party today. We'll be doing our predictions for the Hustle Clean podium picks with Bianca and Tyson for both the men and women's 4x1 podium. And I know that's going to be some spicy talk because
when we play tweets or videos, you can click the videos to play them. Let's get into the fit check today. Honestly, guys, there's days where I really bring it. And today is one of those days. It's like a little 2-piece moment. Get into the little rhinestone bedazzle hair. Get into the eyes and then hit them with the shoes. You know, I love the women's J's, so I killed it today.
And I'm just...
Can you agree that I killed it today?
You killed it. You look really nice. I am rocking one of my boho chic.
It's giving me like lemonade.
Mom dresses, a little, decolletage. No,
we love a clankle.
Since it's in my pocket, I'm going to go ahead and plug it. A little war paint, 400 meter diva on the lips. And mom shoes. I'm not even going to. They come off anyway. So there we go.
These 110 hurdles. Huh? Wait, what? Oh, we had Ollie Pop it. This is why we're co-hosts. Today's flavor is ginger lemon.
That clearly I need.
You need ginger, lemon, honey, and prayer. Oh, I got it.
I think that.
But let's talk about those 110 hurdles.
You gonna start there?
Yeah.
Bachi!
That's why last night, that's all she was
Bachi!
saying. This is why your voice is like that. Last night, all she could say, Bachi! That's my
I told them I told him, Fachi.
And Aries also told he
Aries,
said if
Aries picked it.
something happens to Grant, Parchy's gonna be there to swoop up that gold, and he did.
Mhm.
Grant, it's good. Grant was out.
Grant got out.
Out.
He was out. It was probably hurdle 4 or 5 that like Parchment just like.
You could see his trail. He wasn't as tight the last 4 hurdles. You could see his trail opening up, and it caused him.
I
to
wouldn't
float
have
the
noticed
hurdle.
any of that if Aries didn't break that down for us. So, shout out to Aries Merritt. We'll post that interview, but sorry.
Yeah. You could see him kind of like floating over the hurdles, and when you're in the air like that, you can't apply force to the
You
ground.
got to be moving fast. You're not moving in the air.
Well, you are. That's the only time you are moving.
Not fast enough.
But we gotta come down off that hurdle. I'm just munching on these grapes.
Yeah, girl.
They were just share. I ate like half your grapes, and Liam likes the grapes. He's gonna be so upset.
Anyway, I think Archie goes down as the biggest upset for this Olympic Games. Like,
you think so?
I do. I don't think that. I mean, I think DeGrasse. We knew that wasn't so
even though
much
we didn't
of a
say
shock.
it. Yeah, it wasn't.
But
I think Archie was. I think he's been running well.
I think he's been running well, but I think.
Can I say this?
You can say whatever.
I think Parchy winning isn't the biggest shock. I think Grant losing is the biggest shock to me. Because I believe that Parchy could get it done, but I just didn't think Grant could get beat. You know, does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Because it's like, I don't know Parchy's talent.
We're going to get into that when we talk about some things later on about U.S. expectations. So I think that is spot on that like I'm not going to put myself in that category, but
Grant just looked so good this year and so dominant, and we didn't see him falter ever once. So I just didn't see him doing it.
I'm not taking that away from him. But I don't know. I was watching Parchment through the rounds. Shout out to Ronald Levy. Jamaica got not one but 2 men on the podium. And congrats to our teammate, Team USA, Grant, on the silver medal. But I just love
that lean that Grant had. He because let's be clear, Grant had to. It was funny because he was leaning. He looked and saw that he wasn't about to get the gold, and you can see him stretch his body even further. And he came through the line at 13:09, and Ronald came through 13:10. He almost wasn't about to get the silver either. He really had to stretch for that silver.
Yeah, it was an exciting race all around.
Yeah.
Happy for all 3 guys. I mean this in the most nicest, non-messy way. I know that there was some drama with the Jamaican men getting to the Olympics, and I think just making it on the podium period made it all worth it to them. So congrats to them. Pachi.
I've been coffee capping Natasha and her mom's accent all week. It's still terrible and honestly disrespectful, but I think I'm getting slightly better.
Pachi!
Stop. Like, you need to. We have several more days of the show, and I can talk all day, but people would like to hear you speak.
Okay.
Now speak on this men's 400.
These men's 400. Can I just get can me and Jeremy get our flowers, please? Can we get our flowers?
It's not about you right now.
Can we get our flowers?
It's not about you. We're talking
about our flowers.
It's some of the men who actually competed in.
I mean, I just remember somebody saying like, I mean, he wore a T-shirt in the semis. Is his game really in it? Is his head really in the game?
You didn't have to bring that up.
I did though.
Like you could speak on yourself.
I did.
You could speak. I just had some questions, and you know what? Stevie had some answers.
Man. Okay, I like that. That was a good one. But no, another exciting race. Of course, we were watching Norman and Michael Cherry, but as those guys were coming, first of all, Norman took it out.
He had to. You're in lane 8. What else are you gonna do?
He was out.
Because you think you running down these boys, you got to get out.
Man,
you got to put yourself in a position to win. And I applaud him for running a brave race.
Yeah, but as they were coming around that bend, it was all Gardner.
You were poking me.
I said Gardner's in the lead. And once they evened out and came down the straightaway, Kirani Karani.
Y'all know I love you some Karani James.
Karani, I'm so happy to see him doing well and just back on the podium.
He had to go through so much to get back in fighting shape. To see him on this podium, like I
Yeah.
know, we're biased in our Team USA, but
We
there's
gotta give the credit where it's due.
and
we
there's
know the
certain
journey.
athletes we just it's like I don't care what country you're for. I'm rooting for you to win. And Karani is one of those people. Like I wanted him to get the gold, but I'm glad he's on the podium. But Stevie,
Stevie looked good.
he came out the turn in the lead and just said, I'm gone.
taking this.
Deuces, y'all figure out second and third, but the gold is for me, baby.
And we got to give a shout out to Zambrano, who
Mhm,
came in for the silver medal.
Jeremy kept talking about him.
Zambrano brought him up. I should have listened to my teammate because we would have been almost perfect, close to perfect, if we had thrown Zambrano in there. Zambrano was the wild card that
We just weren't sure.
Yeah. We got to give honorable mention to our guys. Michael Cherry had a PB race of his life.
And that's what I wanted to say is because speaking of what people said, you were like, I'm not sure. He was nervous and shaky at Olympic trials, but Michael Cherry showed up when he had to. He didn't
the
get on
best
the
American performer.
and he PB'd. It's like he did his best performance where it mattered. It wasn't enough to get him on the podium, but like
if I'm ever gonna like to be wrong, it's in this instance.
Yeah. He ran well. Like you can't say he didn't put together. He put together the best race he's ever put together.
Exactly.
He's just running against some. He's running against some bad
Some
boys.
dogs.
Some bad boys.
And Norman was 5th in 44:31.
Yeah.
So shout out to the boys, your Olympians.
You got some really interesting fact about the men's US 400.
Man, so this is, first of all, let me backtrack. Let me go back. The only time the U.S. has not made the podium in this event was 1920, 1980.
We boycotted that.
We boycotted those games, and in 2012. This also means the men not making the podium in the 400 also means that the U.S. has not won any gold in the men's sprints for this Olympic Games.
Individual sprints, but I mean, that's the team sprints too. Gosh.
Making this the first time in history that the U.S. men not home gold in the sprints.
And we're gonna get more into that.
Let's get into it now. I mean, we could
Okay.
talk about it a little bit because we kind of had the conversation a
We've been yelling at each other all day and night about this.
Before we got on air, and I think we have differing opinions. And I've been, of course, you can imagine, we're all texting the Twitter sphere, the friends and such. And I am of the belief that it's not that there's this narrative out there that Team USA is underwhelming and not performing well, particularly the men. Because let's be clear, the women are, we said this about the trials.
We said the trials. I said the men are running good races. The women are making history.
The women, yes, exactly. Shout out to the women. I love to be, anyway. But is it a matter of Team USA not running well, or are we just getting beat? Because in the instance of Michael Cherry running a PB, he got beat by 3 men. Fred Curley got on the podium in the 100. We came first, second, third, and fourth in the 200.
We came second and fourth.
Thank you.
We just claim Andre. We just claim Andre.
Let me get my coffee down. And so it almost kind of feels like, right? To me, let me say for me, as the person sitting on the couch saying you suck. But if we were those guys that made the podium in second, third, or was in fourth place, but ran a PB, hearing other people say, you guys suck and you're not performing well.
It's like you guys are top 5 in the world, top 10 in the world.
Who the hell are we? So to sit here and say that the U.S. is also not performing well,
Before
I don't
you go
think
any
it's
further,
fair.
Disclaimer, I never said that they sucked.
But I'm not saying that's what
I'm just saying, I just want to you made it kind of seem like I'm not saying it, but like she might. I just want to make sure.
A lot of the headlines are saying
the headlines, not me.
The Team USA is underwhelming. They're not performing well. They're on the freaking podium. We didn't win gold this time. The 400 is the only sprint event, and now the 4x1 that we're not on the podium.
I think it's
And
it's a double-edged
and the
sword.
men are, yeah, we've created this standard, but again, as the athlete and as the person who's come forth at the Olympics, it's tough for me to sit here on the couch and watch these men go out there, work hard all these years. We sit here and tell their stories and talk about the blood, sweat, and tears. And because they didn't win gold, we're going to sit here and say that they're not doing well.
But okay, as the athlete, I feel like yes, it's not fair for the public to say like you should do better because who are y'all? But as the athlete, I know when you got fourth, you were happy about it.
No, I wasn't. But
I'm saying
but I went back and reflected on it, and after the fact, I was happy.
yes.
But
But what I'm saying
if
is
we're also in a culture where we're saying like, I mean, it was a tweet the other day. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about the fact that we only celebrate gold medals and not bronze and silver. But so it's like, unless I win, all the work that I've put in doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, how many people are on this stage right now?
no, and I get that. What I'm saying is that I think one of the reasons why there is that expectation is one, I think historically we've
I
been
just
that
read the
girl.
facts. You're right.
We've been
I
that
just
girl, and so you get used to just like winning.
And the facts are the facts.
Excellence is the standard, and we're used to winning. On the second hand, it's like we do have a very young team, and they're actually like you said, they're doing
They're
very
doing
well.
very
And I
well.
think they are going to grow into being a dominant U.S. team where we come through and we're getting medals on medal, gold on gold on gold. But I don't think it's fair for people to say you suck. But I think it's like it is like, oh, okay, like we're not used to not getting gold. Like, and it is a fact. It's fair to say like we've never done this before and never gotten a gold in sprints.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's to be disappointed, but I think as an athlete, you're like, okay, like as an athlete, I'm like, okay, if I got bronze, right, I'd still be like, okay, let me figure out how I messed
Always.
up
I'm
so
not
I can get
saying,
to gold.
yeah, I'm
Um,
not saying none of those things
I think we just
should
have a very young
exist.
team in the sprints.
Mhm.
We're still trying to find out. Like, I feel like for a long time we've had, and we'll talk about this. I want to talk about this with Tyson, but we've always had a guy that's like, I'm that dude. When it
Mhm.
comes to the sprints, like I'm the king of sprints, and we've just got princes out there. We've got princes out there. And someone eventually will go ahead and sit on the throne and be able to go toe to toe with these guys. But it's we're in a growing phase.
I don't disagree. I agree that I can't say that I look at the men's sprints right now and say that I see that presence, that leader. I don't disagree with that. I think my point is that gold is always the standard, no matter what. I'm not arguing that. But I do think that we have to get to a point where we can celebrate our
Yes.
wins, whether it be silver, bronze, fourth, fifth, whatever, and still say, congratulations, y'all are doing amazing.
Yeah. But at the same
And to
time,
and
gold
to
still needs to be the goal.
and to I just said
Okay.
I
I'm
just
just
said
saying.
that, but also congratulate the rest of the world.
Yes, the
And
world is coming up
I
on
think
us.
that we are in the position that we are in because of that lack of respect for the performers around the world.
I don't
So I'm just saying
I
gold is always the standard,
yes.
but I think that we need to be a little bit more respectful
But can I
when
say
it
something
comes.
else?
You're going to.
How do I say this? I feel like I respect the rest of the world. Obviously, I respect my competitors, but also as a unit, I still think because here's what's happening. It's like we're getting beat by the Netherlands in the heptathlon. We're getting beat by Polish in the hammer throw. We're getting beat by the Jamaicans in the sprint. But there's not another team that like has people top 10 every single event. You know what I'm saying? And the USA is showing up at every single event. And I think that's why we can't say like, oh, we like it's not like when it comes down to the medal count, I know even with this, we might
We're
not have the
still
goal.
winning.
We're still winning. And that's what it is. Is that
China's winning the gold medal count, but
shout out to China. But you know, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I think individuals across the world are balling out.
Mhm.
But as a team, USA is still that girl. You can't tell me otherwise.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
Okay,
that.
I'm just making.
That's not what I'm saying.
I think we do respect our competitors internationally. We have to get, because if you don't, that's how you get beat. I just think we have a young team, and I think we also have a public that only watches us for every 4 years, and every 4 years they're used to us seeing gold. So I think that's also part of the perception that we're not doing well, because it's like, wait, I didn't know that, because in 4 years a lot can happen, a lot of new stars can come up, and if you only care about track and field every 4 years, yeah, it's gonna be shocking to
But
see.
I find it.
Makes sense when you watch it.
I find it interesting that it's not just the every 4 year crowds. There are true track and field fans. I mean, there are people that I've been having conversations with that's like, Team USA men just aren't showing up, and I'm just like, I mean, I had a conversation about Noah and Noah's lane assignment, and I'm like, yeah, he was in lane 3 and his best times came out of lane 8 or 7, but he came off the turn in the lead. He just didn't have anything for DeGrasse. Let us give credit where credit is due.
I feel like we've gone on this show and said that maybe. But
I'm not saying that we're saying that. I'm just I'm saying that we need to change the narrative overall.
You don't have to drop names, but I would imagine the people you were having conversation with are also people who have been on Team USA. Am I wrong or not?
No.
No? Okay, then never mind.
They were coaches, but they're not.
Okay, then never mind. Because I'm like, if you're talking, I'm not saying you were, but we talked to Jeremy Warner yesterday, and if Jeremy Warner's like, yo, when I was on the track, we were out here dominating the 400. He is like, okay, I had to you got to take that on the chin, because like, he's not only saying it, he's done it. But yeah, we have 8 minutes to go through all these finals. All right. First of all, speaking of gold and the men, Ryan Krauser might have had one of the most dominant throws performances of all time. He threw the Olympic record on his first throw.
He came out and said, "I'm gonna give y'all a show."
And then the rest of his throws either equaled or bested the Olympic record, the previous Olympic record, which is insane.
Shout out to Megan Clark. I'm gonna say that he was out there throwing for you, boo.
Megan. And then we doubled up on him, got silver with Joe Kovacs. He threw 22.65, and Thomas Walsh from New Zealand 22.47 with a season best for bronze. We got another gold.
And another one.
Women's pole vault. Katie came through with that 490 in the pole vault. Okay, she put the bar up to 501, and it was so funny because she started running at it and was just like, you know what, I ain't got it. Like she was just like, I think she just was like, I'm Olympic gold medalist, so excited I can't refocus to try to get over 5 meters. You saw Sidorova.
I don't even know where you are in the document.
It's fine. I got this. Because we got 8 minutes to get through, and I want to give people their shout outs.
Give people their flowers.
Especially if they're not from a different country, because Natasha is like, first she comes on as like, we're biased, it's Team USA, and now it's like, give the world their due.
I am. I just want us to be clear that like more than one thing can exist at once.
I'm not repeating this girl's name because I struggled through it, but silver came through for 485. Holly Bradshaw from Great Britain also at 485, but due to misses, she got bronze. And our defending gold. Can you pass it? While we're spilling lollipop on my computer. Defending Olympic gold medalist Katerina Stefanidi, Stanford grad as well. She was my team captain when I was on the team. She vaulted a C as a 480 and didn't make the podium, but got 4th.
I want to backtrack a little bit to.
We don't have backtracking.
No. It's just a really quick statement about Krauser and Bauman winning gold. Shout out to them. Let's give.
Oh, Valerie
Allman. Because on the document it was Valerie. I'm sorry. But what my point being, shout out to them while we're sitting here talking about men sprints not for a while. When we talk about changing the guard, we can say that the sprints were carrying the the goals. Shout out to the field events
for picking up. Speaking of field events, okay, men's triple jump, Pichardo from Portugal won with 17.98. That's a national record for Portugal, and he won it on his 3rd jump.
Oh yeah, they were exciting to watch
Yeah,
too.
they were. It was going back and forth. Yaming Zhu from China got second with a PB of 17:57. Hugh Zango jumped 17:47 for bronze, and then our U.S. guys. I just had to give a shout out to, 'cause you guys know I'm president of I'm president of a lot of fan clubs, but I'm president of the Will Clay fan club. He jumped 17:44 to get fourth. He was knocked off the podium. He was actually going to get bronze, but Zoo came out with a great jump in the fifth jump to knock Will off the podium. But let's just remember, Will Clay had Achilles surgery, and over like a little bit over a year ago was relearning how to walk, and now he's jumping into being top five in the world, top four in the world. And then Donald Scott from the US got seventh with 1780. 1718, he had a season best. He's got a new. Have you seen his baby?
No, I haven't.
They're like not. I'm not saying he's the cutest, but they are a very cute family. Him,
You know
his
my
wife,
baby's the cutest.
his wife, and his baby are a very cute unit, and I love them. And then, as far as the greatest athletes on the track, the multi events, the second day concluded. Damian Warner finished with fourth all time as far as points go with 9,018 points. Kevin Meyer from France got second with 8,726 points. Ashley Maloney from Australia got bronze with 8,649 points. Also, I just feel like our guys were in the hunt. I feel like they're going to continue.
Scantling had like so many PBs over the course of the decathlon too.
Yeah, and he got fourth. And Zachary Zemek of USA was in sixth, and Steve Bastian got 10th. I feel like our guys are really up in the mix. We're on the podium, but like I feel like they're on their way up.
Yeah.
Women's heptathlon theme.
She was like, "I'm gonna play with y'all through these events, but I'm gonna come up and get this gold." Because she, at one point, she was in like fourth. She wasn't even on the podium.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with the multis. Is like the first day, it might look like someone's going to win,
shaky.
but that might be their best events. And the second day, you know, here comes Theme. She's the second woman to defend her Olympic title in the heptathlon. Better from the Netherlands got second with 6,689 points, and Emma Osterweigel from Netherlands got the bronze with 6,590 points. Just like the men, our women were in the hunt. Kendall Williams got fifth, Annie Kuntz got sixth, and Erica Bogart got ninth. Yeah. So definitely, I could see these.
Kendall had a really good long jump too. That's one of her.
Yeah. And then just a quick recap. Oh, and then in the men's 20K race walk, Massimo Stana from Italy won. Koki Ikeda from Japan got second, and Toshihikazu Yamanashi.
Come on.
That still probably is wrong. From Japan got third. So Japan was showing up in the race walk. And then see if our guest is in while I
don't know that she's in, but
I still got two more things.
You got two more things. Go ahead.
Men's 15 semi. This is
it was a heartbreaker.
Because our reigning gold medalist, Matt Centrowitz from the US, will not be in the final. But Cole Hawker from the US, he got second in his heat. He will be showing up for the final. But what happened is, I feel like this is in the distance run, in the distance events, sometimes you have an honest race, and sometimes you have a more strategic race. So if you're in the first heat, it was definitely a slower heat. And that's kind of what caught Matt Centrowitz up. He was ninth in his heat with a season's best of 3:33.69. But the winning winning time of the first heat would have gotten eighth in the second heat. So it really came down to those big cues. Because it's isn't that crazy?
I'm still shaking my head about it because in the sprints, you just kind of like
go
big Q, little Q, but also like, it's top two from each. I have to remember because, it's 3 at the games. But the idea that like from first to eighth place. Like,
But that's not just
nobody would have
that's not just that's not to say that those guys wouldn't have
like
they just ran a strategic
a
race.
strategic
They
race.
had the ability to,
Yeah.
they definitely have the ability. I think if it was mixed up, the times would have been different for those guys, but they said we're going to conserve and have a little bit more legs to the final. I think they had the Heat wanted to come into the finals, those guys, because they didn't have to work as hard to make it to the final.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a fat.
It was
If you were
nuts.
Heat, if you were in Heat 2, you had to go, or you were not making this team. So it kind of just, it's just kind of hard to see that, basically, depending on what Heat you are, your
Yeah.
chances to make it the final went up or down.
Yeah.
And then another in the 4x4 heats, for the women, USA's through with the top time of 3:20.86. We went Kaylin Whitney to Waddling. Kendall ran a leg.
Did she?
She has that viral. Kendall, if you guys don't know who Kendall is, she's the girl who went viral a couple years ago for her amazing anchor leg in the 4x4 NCAAs for USC. And then we closed it off with Irby. So Jamaica had the second fastest time overall. They were also in our heat, so they got second.
We're seeing a lot of that. The top teams in the same heat, like the 4x1 was the same way. We'll get into that later, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Ay.
there was a lot of stuff going down on the track. I agree with you that, like, if I had a bronze or a silver, like, how you gonna tell me? I
want to read this comment that came up while you were doing the rundown. Bianca needs 5 minutes. She said her computer is rebooting, so we have a little bit more time.
Okay. Cool.
Until BK comes. Charmaine G said, Natasha, I agree about not giving others credit where it is due. There's always an excuse when USA doesn't win. The narrative is usually that USA lost the goal and not that they were beaten. Grant Holloway was beaten. He didn't lose the goal. He was beaten. Noah was beaten by DeGrasse. It wasn't because of the lane. There is no assigned medal with names engraved on them. USA likes to count their medals on paper as if other athletes are not coming to win.
I mean, look, when I won my little medal,
no. We're not here to minimize. When you won your world championship, that you were not picked to win.
No one talked about me.
You worked your ass off to win. That's not what we're doing here. We're not minimizing wins.
Well, I'm just, I just like to say my little bit.
No, that's not what we're doing here. Don't get me.
The sports psychologist is coming out. She said, you better with confidence. What I'm saying is, it's funny because my parents still to this day have, like, the race recorded on their TV. Like, and they always get they don't even mention you. They don't even know. And I'm like, I don't care. For me, I don't care if you mention my name before the race. I'll make sure you mention it after it.
Your name is in history.
Thank you. But what I'm saying is, everyone goes in. I feel like this is with all the sports. I kind of hate. We're doing it. We're commentators, but I hate, like, we don't know what
commentators. Say that again, girl.
We're doing something. I don't know what we are. We out here on this couch and people are tuning in to hear us talk the craziness. But we don't, like, we do these predictions every day. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of track and field, is because you have your idea.
Yes, the beauty of track and field is anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I always say, like, people are like, how did you win on the lane? And I'm just like, as long as I have a lane, I knew I had a chance. There were championships where I did not have a lane in the final, and I was like, I have a lane, and for me, I knew I had a chance. Other people didn't think so. So I get it, but I think we are also not talking about the individuals. I don't think anyone is, at least for me, I'm not looking at Noah and being like, dang, you should have gotten gold. I'm not looking at Fred Curley and being like, you should have gotten gold. I'm saying, I think we're talking about as a unit and as a team. And Natasha, when we are in these team meetings at major championships, we have a meeting. And what does Ruth say every time? We are Team USA. We always say we are the number one team in the world. in order to be the number one team in the world, we do have to get gold. That's just point player. I'm not putting the burden on Trayvon Vermel. I'm not putting the burden on Michael Norman. I'm
But
saying as a unit, we're not looking like
that's not
you team.
necessarily true, because if you take it back to the NCAA's, where you might, you just got to score points. So if we're getting on the podium, and we're getting on the podium in multiple numbers, like, it still doesn't take away from us being number one. We're still winning the medal count.
I
We're just not winning the gold medal count. So I think we can go on and on for days about this,
you
but I
I
and
think it's hard to say we're the
and when we
best.
lose, because
Hi,
even
Dad.
sometimes the best in the world lose. To me, I've always said, what makes a good champion is one that can take their L's well. And I'm not saying that Team USA is doing this, because I see the men celebrating their wins and celebrating their silver, bronze, and the everybody who has
What do
won
you mean by
gold.
taking your L's well?
You got to respect your competition. Like, I'm not saying don't be disappointed. You can be disappointed. You should be disappointed. Being disappointed is a sign that you care. But you also have to take the time to celebrate your wins and allow yourself to celebrate your wins, because I will be the first to tell you, don't celebrate your wins and you'll look back and have accomplished so much, but you don't realize that you did, because you spent your time moping about not winning when you've already won.
Me and you have different definitions of winning. Like, I think you can be proud of your accomplishment. And I'm talking specifically for me and how I deal with loss. Like, you can look back on, if you, how do you say it? How did you say it? You'll look back and not realize you had accomplishments
That you've
if
won.
you say moping. Like, I don't mope. I get to work. I always say you can lose once or you can lose twice, right?
Mhm.
So if I lose, the way you lose twice is you take that L and you don't learn from it. You need, like, for me, all my biggest wins have come from my biggest losses, and I don't
Yeah,
mope about
same.
it, but I let that I let that chip sit on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I let that anger
My
I let that
my
anger fuel my heart.
my
And
wins are so sweet because of all my
yes,
losses. I'm not
and
saying
I in a big arena like this, yes, I'm gonna, okay, I got bronze, silver, but in the back of my mind,
I still want gold.
and I'm going to go work for it. I'm gonna do, okay, all right,
And
and I'm
what
gonna go.
I think the difference that I'm saying, both of those things can exist in one.
I'm just gonna.
But
Someone says that they love the show. We're not gonna be over it. Like, you thought you were gonna get rid of me. We're coming back. We'll have
we
a new
coming at you.
schedule. Um, don't worry. We're not going anywhere. We got to figure out our life after the Olympic coverage, but it's not over. I'm just saying, for me, no one can tell these athletes how to feel, and no one can say, oh, you should be disappointed, whatever, we should have our goals, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, for me, I run off of rage and off of proving people wrong. And when I take an L, and I define not anything but being the best in the world as an L, because excellence is a standard, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna let I told myself, when I didn't make the team, I said, you will never feel this way. I mean, I felt this way again this year, but I said, oh, you'll never feel this way. And every time I had to go into the weight room, every time I had to work out, that memory is what fueled me to my wins. That's all I'm saying. Hi, Bianca Knight.
I'm not saying
What's up, guys? Well, I don't know what y'all talking about, but it sounds like a lot.
Well, before we get into what we're talking about, we never got to talk about you last time you were
right.
on. So let's
And
get into
so,
that.
before we get into that, I don't know if we have any new people here today. So let me do your intro again, so that people know what time it is. So Bianca Knight is one of my former training partners. She's a Mississippi native, Gatorade Athlete of the Year, 2008 200-meter NCAA champ at 22.4, which was the collegiate record at the time. Olympic gold medalist and a member of the world record 4x1 that was set in London in 2012. Also, my favorite stat, mom of two beautiful boys. So she's the perfect person for us to get into the relay talk today. We got into it a little bit the other day.
But
But
today,
but we're gonna wait for Tyson to come on to get into the
Okay,
relay.
okay. Oh, T Reezy.
Yes, T Reezy is in the building.
someone said I first saw Bianca Knight when World used 100-meter on TV in 2005. They still
I
got the
did.
video.
Oh my God, can you send it to me? Email me that
We'll
video.
figure that out.
Um,
DM us at Track Girl Summer, and we'll put you guys
In
in
touch.
touch so you can get that video, the
I
memories.
need that. You know, I got a documentary
I want
coming
to watch
out. I
it
need
too.
to add that footage.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're sending it via Twitter.
Oh,
Oh,
she
you send
said.
it.
Okay.
Don't do that.
But yeah, I need that video. That's lit. I be looking for all my videos. I feel like that
Audio.
wasn't the first goal for the US in the youth in the 100, or it might have been. It might have been, and I didn't know that obviously at the
Audio
time.
as well. Can you?
But I feel like I can hear her.
I can hear her too.
Maybe you need to.
Do you are you able to see your mic settings on your computer?
Yes. No, I lied. Where would I see that at? I actually had to get on my laptop because for whatever reason, my desktop is not connecting to my keyboard. I don't even know why. Like it's always something after the power go out and something just decides not to work no more. But let's see, mic settings.
I said, let's make sure she talks louder or gets closer to the mic. So just yell at us.
Yeah, just yell.
Bianca's too cool and smooth for that. But we'll be
Okay,
messing
can
around.
you hear me? You still
All right.
can't hear me?
I can hear you.
So
Oh.
let's get into it because I don't want to lose too much time. There's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about before we get into the relay things. Your journey on the relay, a lot of what you said the other day, I want to make sure that we get because you know we had that bad connection. That's why we messed up on our picks.
My
You
God.
know,
That's not true. You heard what Bianca said.
but I want to talk to you about your foundation. You know, I have a nonprofit as well, so giving back to the community is something that I think is important, and we definitely need to be highlighting athletes that have taken their experiences and their platforms and now use them to give back to the generation to come. And also, I've been, let me stop
Stop
moving
moving
around. What's
around.
going on with our, okay. Also, I saw where you mentioned that you don't really miss track and you
Mhm.
know, you don't really have any regrets. And so I know for me, a lot of my experience or my reason for starting my nonprofit is a lot of the things that I felt like I was missing and how I want to fill the gaps for the generations to come. So just give us a little bit about, you know, what inspired the foundation, what about your experiences is an experience that you're hoping to change for the generations to come.
Of course, you know, I grew up in Mississippi and we're not a track state. So it's not real big on track and our resources are very little. If it wasn't for obviously me just having an exceptional talent to the point where I was invited so many places and it was paid for eventually, I would have probably never gotten to those places. So I know that that's not the case for other athletes, especially where I'm from. And also our high school system. Um, I think it's a commonality in the South because I'm in North Carolina now and they have the same issues where they don't even actually have a track coach. So they don't have blocks. They don't have, well, let's say they don't have functioning equipment. Let's just say that. And the school doesn't put it in the budget for them to get that stuff. So I kind of wanted to fill that void for the coaches. It's like, okay, well, you know, I'll give a grant. I give $1,000 to 5 different schools every year to get strictly for track equipment. They can't use it for anything else. It can be for uniforms, batons, blocks, whatever they want to use it for. But I don't give it to the school. I give it to the track team, the track coach. So even for travel, whatever they need it for, because they don't get the budget like the other sports get. So I wanted to fill that gap. And then sometimes I partner with Gill, so they actually get it at a discount if they do it through me and I just have it sent through the school. Um, what else? I host 2 track meets in Mississippi now. And one of them, there's no registration fee. If you run well at the state meet, you are automatically invited to the Mississippi Meet of Champions, where this year, well, 2022, I'm hoping to actually get my out of state kids to come so that they can actually kind of like your Nike. I want it to eventually be one of those big circuit meets where all of the top athletes end up coming to Mississippi, because we have two kids who are number one in the US in the 100, 200, and 400. They're in Mississippi. So, they did a lot of traveling. And I said, I feel like kids should try to come to y'all. So let me try to get this meet together. And maybe next year, y'all don't have to travel as much and we'll bring those kids to y'all to compete or whatever. So, that's one aspect of the foundation. And obviously, the second, I go and I speak at schools. And of course, this is a nonprofit, so it's donation based. If you donate, cool. If you don't, that's fine. But I don't charge. So,
BKFgives.org. That's where
mhm.
you have to go give to the initiative, the cause here. I love what you said about bringing the athletes to Mississippi, because one thing that I think is true is sometimes we have to see it to believe it, right? And so if
Yes.
you keep your kids in the states, in the state of Mississippi, to run big and run against in these big competitions, then I think that is definitely more encouraging to get more athletes into the sport and more top athletes coming out of Mississippi. So I love that, and thank you for doing that cause, making that cause happen. Not only just talking about it, but actually making it happen. What is
I
going on
don't
with the camera
know.
today?
I know what it is. I'm so fly. It's like it's overloading the camera. I get it. It's okay, camera. We'll work with you.
Um, so another thing that you've started that I think this might be for profit, but still for the sport, is your app called BK Track Stars,
Hmm.
and which helps develop the next generation of track and field athletes. The goal is to use artificial intelligence and predictive algorithms to help develop and train aspiring athletes. So tell us more about that. You just
Well, I sit on a lot of ideas. We thought about the app when, there you have Huddle for football and you have Rivals for football, you have Rivals for basketball. Basically, every other sport kind of know where they rank in terms of um their recruitability against their not opponents, but their classmates. And track doesn't have anything like that. And I thought that it would be cool if I'm 11 or if I'm 12 years old, I see how I rank against my 11 and 12-year olds versus, everybody else. And then I see, how do I rank against the 11 or 12-year olds out of like around the world or whatever. And I think it gives the parent, the coach, and the kid a better idea of, because it's hard for kids to even pick events right now. So it's like figuring out you're much better in this one than you are in that one, things like that. So it's kind of to help them pick an event and also to kind of see your progression in terms of yourself. Like there's a page on there that shows you how you're doing from meet to meet and season to season. So it's more so to keep athletes focused on themselves and not everything around them all the time. So that's one aspect of it. And then artificial intelligence is to help them train more intuitively. I always try to say that. So it's like it's not gonna there's no perfect science, but it's to tell you like these are the workouts you're doing, these are the times you run at the meets. Are these workouts working out? So the app will actually be able to say, well, maybe if you do this or change, maybe change certain variables of the workout, maybe it'll yield a better time. But it has to get to know you first, so you have to actually log your workouts in, because we're going to get your results. So just log your workouts in and we'll say, okay, well, this is what they're doing and these are the times that they're hitting and this is what they're getting out of that. This looks like that's working for them, or that's not working for them, or whatever. So it's to help a coach, not just be giving them something to give it to them or whatever. It's like, no, you actually need to make a workout plan for them because this ain't working what you're giving them, and it's showing that it's not working. So
you're saying so many things that like I have so many questions that I want to get to, but we're not
It's
going to
like,
have enough time.
me
I
too.
see your hand, but I'm ignoring you.
I know. I want to
What's
ask
the question?
because it's. Anyways, Bianca, the question I have is like, so it tracks the workouts, and you can see, hey, this athlete responds to these type of workouts. And then like, I'm a, I have my workouts from senior year. Maybe I can send those workouts to my collegiate coach and kind of um decrease that time where your coach is trying to get
Trying
to
to
your
figure out.
body, figure out what workout to respond to, and you can say, hey, this is what I did all my senior year. Like, not telling a college coach what how to coach me, but like, here's what my body responds to, because some 400 runners train like a 2-4 people, some 400 runners train like a 4-8, and like having that information might be helpful just to continue on with collegiate success.
Yes, it's definitely a good recruiting tool because you can make it on there if you want people to see the workouts you're doing or not. So you can have that public or you can have it private. So and also I have a platform for coaches and athletes for the recruiting that they get a whole database of colleges that they meet the criteria of based on what they're doing right now. And it's just a better way because everybody's looking at the Power 5 schools. And it's like you can get it done from any school. So stop looking at just these schools. And these are the ones you can get a full scholarship to right now. The goal is to not pay for school. So why would you rather go somewhere and walk on that you're gonna have to pay versus going to this school where you can go for free and you have an option. So it sends them a whole list of colleges that they can pretty much, hey, I think I meet the criteria of this school. So, and like I said, and college coaches can look at it as well and see what athletes meet the criteria of their school. So it's like a middleman for recruiting as well.
That's awesome.
I
I
I want
love
to
that.
talk about again, you and I were training partners. We've known each other for a long time. Something people do not know. Bianca and I actually ran against each other in the 400
Ooh.
at high school nationals.
Not her finna post this picture. I already know she's finna post this picture.
I didn't load it. Bob might find it. I didn't load it, but he might
I'm
find it.
gonna find it if y'all don't load it.
I posted it on my foundation page. So, but what I want to talk about is I love what you're doing with this app. But there's so many like intersectionalities of like what you've been saying that like I hope I can form the question properly because I love you said that this is about the athlete comparing themselves against themselves. And I remember
Mhm.
one time you and I did a speaking engagement and a parent asked us, what were you running at such and such age? And both of us were like, that's not important because we didn't want that father to start comparing their child against what we were running
Mhm.
as athletes because we were pretty fast when we were kids.
But also, I think we're like gifted. It's like
We are gifted, but the point that Bianca and I made to each other was that number one, we had the longevity that we had because yes, we trained hard, but also when I was 10, I was a 10-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
same.
Like I wasn't out there running 400s, you know? And so I think what you're doing is so important in that, it's giving athletes and coaches the tools to
Mhm.
see what works for them, but also don't burn these kids out.
Hmm.
Let these kids be kids.
We didn't have a
Yes.
topic
If
about
if they
like
gonna be
young
great, they're gonna be
athletes.
great.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that because I think what you're doing, like I want people to understand the importance of having these tools and understand. Let your kid have fun. All right, I'm gonna stop talking.
Yes.
Sorry.
And it's crazy because a parent, I think his daughter is like 10 or 11. He's like, oh, she's just not having fun. She's not doing this. And I said, and it's probably because you're making it too much of a task for her. I said, just let her go and explore the sport. We have so many different events. Everybody want their kids to be a sprinter or a jumper or this. They can do all of that stuff. So just let them play around and let them have fun and see what they gravitate towards. And then he reached back out to me and was like, oh my God, I took your advice. And would you know it? She made it to Junior Olympics in the javelin. Like she's never even done it before, but I let her explore it and she did well in the javelin. And he said she's having so much fun and she's still running a little bit, but letting her do something else really did bring her love back to the sport. And I told him, like you just said, they're kids, just let them have fun. And there's another kid from Texas. He's number one in his age group, and we talk all the time. And he's just so concerned with his time, his time, his time. And I talked to his coach, and I said, listen, that time is going to come. Have fun. You should not be 12 years old stressing about the times that you're hitting in the sport, not if you plan to have a long career. It's going to come. Just go out there and run and have fun and just enjoy the process of where you are. Like Tasha said, I know it's different for these kids now because they're so into social media, so it's hard to not compare yourself to everybody else. So I understand what they're up against. We didn't have that. We just was going from meet to meet, running. Like we really didn't have the
I was
extra
checking
stuff.
miles. I said
I was checking dice stat, but it still is on a whole
on
nother
different
level
levels.
right now.
And
And
that's
I
more
also
so like, ooh, how well am I doing now? It's still you looking for what you doing. You still not looking
Yeah.
for what
yeah,
everybody else doing. And
for sure.
it's just it's harder for them, but I think that once you start making it a thing, a job, a task, then you're not gonna have fun anymore. And it's gonna start feeling like so much hard work and oh my gosh, I'm not doing well. Which if you compared yourself to yourself, you'll see that you're PR in every meet. So what do you mean you're not doing well? You're not doing well because you're not winning? Like that doesn't determine if you're doing well or not. Like
That's the whole conversation.
That was our whole debate just now before you came on, but it was in regards to Team USA. But
I think
yeah, but
I think we,
Rob Benjamin is like a prime. I feel so bad that he's apologizing for not winning after running the second fastest
breaks
time
my
in
heart.
history. Like,
Uh,
how do you put that kind of pressure on yourself to cry because you're like so disappointed that you didn't get gold for your country? And it's like, bro, y'all just ran times in the 400 hurdles that could have made the semifinals in the open
some of us
400.
didn't
Like, what
even
are you talking about?
some of us didn't even imagine seeing a race that fast. So the idea that we're apologizing or people are sitting on their couch saying the Team USA men aren't doing well, like what?
What
I
is
I was never even in my head including Ry Benjamin on this because I'm like right. I think we need to have another
A whole
episode
nother
when we
segment
talk
on this.
about the pressure and like on young athletes and developing young athletes because I think we have so many young phenoms that people think that it's normal and it's not like y'all these people weren't just they work hard but let's be very clear God reached down and touched them and made
Specifically.
specifically and was like chosen. And I think what happens is like you see the Sydneys, you see the IJs, you see the things, and you think your child should be on that track, and it's like that is how you destroy a kid.
mm-hmm.
Period.
It
We're
is.
gonna have that is gonna
It's
be
a whole nother
that is gonna be
segment.
Yeah,
another
we can
segment.
definitely like you said, that's a whole nother topic.
But
But
you know what? A
yeah,
child
so
who's not gonna be destroyed are these two kids that you have.
yeah, so that's pretty much the app in a nutshell. And the foundation is to hey, progress at your own progression level is fine. We did it. Tasha's still in the sport. I lasted a long time. Like the longevity happens when you worry about yourself, focus on your own times. You will get it. Like if I would have started running thinking like, damn, I should be running 49 with Tasha, like, baby, that's her event. You ran the 400, but if you really want to run 49, you will work for it. Like that's just not gonna happen if you just think that because other people are hitting those times, you should be hitting those times. It's not
And
as easy as it looks. So
let's be clear. Josh is built for the 400. You built for the sprint.
100%.
That also is a factor. And when you said telling these parents let your kids try everything, we talked to Mike Powell, we talked to Gail Devers. Mike said he did six events in college. Gail said she did 8. Like I started off as a multi-eventer /8/15 girl, ended up in the 400 hurdles. Tasha said she just was a 400. But I feel like
But
if you
that is my one regret
yeah,
is that I didn't try other sports.
and you'll see a lot of these great athletes. We played a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
We did a lot of events because we were athletes first, and then we found our love, and that's how.
Exactly.
I think that's the reason why we're able to last so long because I'm doing what I love, not what I was told I should do because my body type. Because no one would have put my short butt in the hurdles. Definitely not the 400 hurdle. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like parents need to understand that like let your kids let your kids be athletes. Let your kids be
Yeah.
athletes, and then a lot of kids are specializing earlier, and that's how you get overuse injuries.
Overtrained, yep.
Over everything. So
Over it.
right, over it.
I'm the only girl from my club team still running,
Same.
and they all started before me. All were track.
Another thing that I'd like to point out is that on my track team, there were girls that were actually better than me.
Same.
Had more raw talent than me.
Same.
and I'm the one that's still going. I'm the one that made it past college. Some of them didn't even make it into college.
I
And
competed against girls who couldn't wait to get to college so they could
to
quit.
get away from their parents and their coaches. Like,
And you don't
please,
want
baby,
that.
no.
You don't want your
Please,
kids
baby,
to just be like, I'm just ready to get away from them. Like, you don't want that. Like, you do not want that.
Invest. And I hear things like, I love parents. Like my parents, they invested in me,
Mhm.
but the passion came from me.
Right.
Because my brother, he don't like to work. That's him. Like when it comes to sports, he like my sister, remember that they just wanted to play on game day. I was like, I want to work. My dad said, you want to train with Corey's track coach? My brother said no. My dad said, okay, that's not for him. I was a psychopath, so they let me do psychopath stuff. Not
And
change.
you do have to love track to be in it because it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport, and you do not know if
It's not
that
fun
hard
when,
work is going to yield that result that you're looking for. So you have to be strong to compete in track and field because it might not. You might train and never make a team, or I never made individual. Like it. You have to be okay with that might happen to you. So track ain't for the weak at all.
When I'm saying track isn't fun, what I'm saying is when you're 40 years old, I doubt you're going to be meeting up at the track to do 400 repeats. But there are guys right now.
There are some where I
I
train
know
at.
a
Couldn't be me.
But most basketball players, let's play a pickup game. Let's go play horse. Like we don't scrimmage at practice. We go to like what we do at practice. Other sports punishment.
Tyson, what camera?
What
did
is
you,
mini cam? What OnlyFans
This
type?
mini cam, baby, is you hacked? What is this?
This dark web type.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Or nah?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. What's popping?
Oh, hold on. What's going on?
What is mini cam?
DK.
What did do, T Reezy? I said, what did I do? What did I
Reading
do
off
to
of
be able to get here?
I love this. Tell y'all, the other day it was a 400 hurdle party, and I felt left out.
Hold on.
Now it's the global athletics party.
Yeah.
I'm still in it. Here's the thing: is I get in where I fit in. I still feel like I'm part of the crew. Okay, you can't ostracize me.
Man, global. My boy Mark had everybody.
So what type of the dark web he's on? Weird, cool.
Tyson, I get hacked messing with Tyson.
Hostage like situation we got going on. Okay, where is my notes on Tyson Gay? Where is it in the document? Did you delete my? Tasha, I'm gonna fight you.
Because you'd be putting stuff any and everywhere on the document.
I found it. Tyson Gay, University of Arkansas. He has the American record with 969, and he's actually tied for the second fastest man over 100 meters with Johan Blake. He has, in 2007 in Osaka World Championships, he got gold in the 100, 200, and the 4x1. He's the second man to win all three at a World Championships. Maurice Green did it first, and Bolt did it after. He has a 2009 World Championship silver in 100 in the Berlin World Championships. He is a 4-time U.S. champ in the 100, and he is a blank screen on our show. But
welcome to Track Girl Summer, and y'all better put some respect on my dog Tyson Gay's name. You hear me?
We were talking earlier about how in the U.S. there's always been the king of the sprint, that dude, and for a long time
it was
Tyson Gay was that dude. Like, and I feel like we're trying to figure out who's going to sit on the throne next. But
Tyson, you have any thoughts?
Tyson had a seat and stayed there for a while.
We can't even hear our dog no more.
Tyson, you there?
Someone send an Amber Alert out for Tyson Gay.
My man's got the mini cam though. I'm trying to figure this one out.
What is his mini cam?
Well, while we get him back on the screen, let's introduce the next segment.
Oh, like the predictions, like the Hustle Clean whole thing, or do you want to? I thought we were just going to introduce. Okay, guys, bear with us. Okay, so we're going to be doing our Hustle Clean podium predictions. Bianca already knows how it's good. We didn't pick who is on each team. Who's are you team with? I'm gonna pick
Yeah,
Bianca.
Jeremy told me last night that they can run a complete.
Oh, he throwing shade on my dog, Reezy.
I just don't know if he's gonna show up, so I need some assistance.
All right, you would be
I know
K.
Bianca's in the chat right now. But our predictions are sponsored by Hustle Clean. Hustle Clean is a mission-driven self-care brand for active lifestyle. Products are sold nationwide in Walmart and Target. It's athlete and Black owned. Go to hustleclean.com and enter TGS for a 10% discount on all products. Thanks. Get in the hustle and get clean. It's not their logo, but I say it. And we're gonna be talking the men's 4x1 and the women's 4x1. Do we want to start with the women's 4x1 and what I think about it? Or do you want to start with the men's 4x1 and I'll tell you what I think about that?
We can start with either one. They both same boat. So
What you mean they both in the same boat? One still has an opportunity.
One's still at sea. Okay, one's still rowing, but it's a shaky boat.
yeah, that boat rocking though. So,
but
why are we like this?
You know why I'm like
it's not that. It's really not their fault though. Did you guys see Canada's interview? Canada's meeting?
Yes.
Did we? They threw some shade.
It wasn't shade. That was
is it shade?
I just want to say, but is it shade if it's the truth? Like, I mean,
someone wants to know what they said. They basically
said that we ain't been practicing. We didn't practice. Like, the commentator asked how they felt about the men not advancing, and they said, I mean, we was practicing. They just didn't. They weren't practicing. They need more practice or whatever. And the whole topic of discussion around not going into training camp, which I know, and it's been a couple of people that work for USA Track and Field that has been defending them not going over early, but unless you plan on telling us the logical reason behind doing that, then the athletes were not at the forethought of deciding not to go over there, and we don't care.
Here's my thing. Even if you had practice, in my humble non-relay running opinion, I don't think they got their legs right.
No, they got completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Because I get why you. Okay, we're gonna talk about the men's. Tyson.
Crazy.
Hey, hold on. Turn this light on. I gotta pee.
Can I ask Tyson a serious question?
Yeah. Came up.
Tyson,
Yo,
do you use a tutorial right now? What you using to moisturize that beard? That's what I want to know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What you saying?
I said, what you using to moisturize that beard? It's looking strong. It's looking healthy. It's looking shiny.
There you go. I went and put a little, you feel me, a little, juices and berries, nothing much though.
Okay.
Where the chains at? I was expecting to see the Mr. T chain.
Hey,
you ain't got the chain.
This is all business, man. We got to talk business, man. See what's going on with our people, man, out there in the streets. You know.
He can't work.
Tyson came
ready. Come on, let me see my shirt. You see, I'm trying to represent. You feel me?
No.
That flag look a little suspect though. That ain't Team USA flag.
No, it ain't Team USA flag, but it's still the color. You dig? It's from 2012. Y'all know the vibes.
That boy is crazy.
I miss you, man. I really do.
So we get into this 401. I just stated I don't think on the men's or the women's side they got the legs right. Okay, but despite all, let's forget the practice. Let's forget the handoffs. But the handoffs is part of the reason why the legs are wrong. The legs weren't right. I get that you put Fred Curley on the second leg because it's 400 meters strength. But why would you put a man who's used to the 400 giving and taking the baton? Put that man on anchor where he belongs. Casey's like,
yeah.
I'm not even sure I would have run him in a preliminary round, period.
Who else would?
Why did you take over Michael Williams? Why is he over there? The boy from Oregon is a dog. Why was he not on that relay?
Well, so that was going to be my question, right? About like what legs were available, because the argument is that and I agree that Fred shouldn't be taking and giving the stick, because even if you look, Fred was placing the baton before he even saw a target.
You got to see the target. With timeout, let's rewind. Proper handoff technique. I'm gonna get it from Bianca and Tyson. You running.
You need to see a target.
Someone says stick, hand out big target, then you place it.
You place the baton.
Let's be clear. Fred's over here running.
Stick. Oh,
that slows you down, and you don't have a strong target. So let's just be clear. That's why we said the handoffs are messed up. But
and also Fred didn't have good placement, so we didn't get to see the first handoff. But you saw that Fred had to adjust the stick. He didn't get a good handoff, and also it is the incoming runner's responsibility to make sure that the baton is placed properly. So there's that part.
Can you explain what you mean by he doesn't have a good hand?
He had the baton in the middle of the baton,
and hold it at the bottom.
That's with having adjusted it. So even by the time he handed it off, he still didn't have much stick to give to Baker.
So like you should be getting
at
it
the bottom part of it. Yes,
you can hand it off like this.
Right.
You got it here in the middle, so there's no place for you to hand off to the next person.
Exactly.
We should have got a baton.
We should have had a baton. But the point that I want to make is that, or the question that I had, which I guess Bianca kind of answered, because my thing is, although I agree that Fred should have been anchor leg as opposed to second leg for the situation that we just described, I don't know that switching the 4 legs that ran would have made the difference in making the final. And I say that
switching
the order. And I say that because the anchor leg, despite having the stick problems, they ran away. And on this level, we can't hide. And
well, that's because we had it wrong from the beginning. We had it wrong from the beginning.
Go ahead. Break it down.
It's the relay coach's responsibility to look at their personnel and decide. You never want to, every athlete, if you ask them to run, they're going to say yes, and they're going to do it because they want to be out there on the track.
Be out there on the track.
It's your responsibility as a relay coach to say, hey, man, I really, really want to put you out there, but I'm going to have to go with somebody else just because I want to do what's in the best interest of the team. I love Trayvon, but everybody with eyes can see that's not the same Trayvon that came. The same one we've been seeing all year is not the same one that ended up in Tokyo. And it could be for anything. His Achilles could be bothering him. Mentally, something could be bothering him.
He's had a lot of injuries.
Yes, and they happened at major championships. It could be a mental block at the major championships because he's always gotten hurt when he got there. It could be so many things, but whatever it is, he is not giving what he was all year. So you make a conscious decision as a coach, and you go forget that he runs 9.7. He's amazing out of the blocks. That's not who you have out there right now. Call up Michael Williams, or when you see this in 100 rounds, you had like 5 days to say, hey man, we got to come up with something else because we got to figure out who we're gonna put on that first leg. Ronnie Baker, why do you have him on third leg at all? He needs to be second leg. Why are you putting Ronnie Baker on third leg? Who told y'all to do that? Why like it's and the frustration, this is how I know that they felt the same way, is because they were all very upset. They couldn't even finish their interview. One athlete walked off.
Like, should be. And I want to be clear that what we're saying here is no disrespect to the men that were here.
Yeah, it's the coaches. So trust me, it's the relay coach.
Bad strategy, bad coaching.
So basically, Natasha's saying it's just the U.S. relay coaches.
Tyson, I want to hear your thoughts on it, because we just kind of and look, I got all into it, and I'm not even a 4x1 specialist, but I know them batons. I know them. I'm
taking the baton. I know how to give and take, and I know that wasn't right.
So,
to be honest with you, I've been on one good relay team, and the rest of them been horrible for me. I've had some bad luck. Bianca is the expert, I think, in the 4x1. But I personally believe you need leadership when it comes out there. The time that I did, the time that we did win, I think I had some leadership. When I gave the stick to Leroy, he was nervous. He wasn't.
Shout out to the
He
game.
he was just nervous. You understand what I'm saying? The prelims didn't go well, so when finals came, it was more like I just had to tell him, man, I'm going to get you the stick. Just go. And I calmed him down. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
I gotta stop you right there. I'm sorry, because I just want to point out that Leroy Dixon, although a Gamecock, this no disrespect, he was not a top sprinter. But what you're saying is, as a leader, you elevated him enough to believe and go
Right.
out and get the job.
Because yeah, at the time we had I want to say we had 2 or 3 sprinters go down. So, you know, that they just moved up on the chain. So whoever's going to be the leader for the U.S., and I'm not talking about coaches because I believe coaches are one thing, but whoever's going to be the leader of the U.S., the men's 4x1, it's always a big dog. No matter out of all those guys, it's always a big dog. If Fred has came down from the 400 and has took over the 100, as we see him right now, right? These are just facts. If he's going to be the big dog, he has to be the one to step up and say, hey, this is how it's going to go. This is what leg I want to run. This is what I think. And the guys have to come together and give each other's opinion because we've done that once before, even though we still have bad luck. The coach gave us the permission to say, hey, you guys put it together. What you want to do? I said, hey, Crawford, what you want to do? You know, what leg you feel like you're the best at? Crawford said, I think I'm the baddest MF alive on third leg. You know, so then.
I know he said that too.
Sean Crawford, you understand? Sean Crawford, you know what I'm saying? This is the gold medalist talk. So we're in the group. He says, I think I'm the baddest MF on third leg. And so in my brain register was like, I think I'm the baddest MF on third leg, right? So I wasn't running the prelims, but he ended up running. I think he gave the darkest pattern, I think. It still was some type of mishap, and we didn't make it through. But we always relaxed. We just made a mistake. Somehow, some way, it didn't work. Bad luck. I don't know what it is. But someone has to take control of the relay, and it's not going to be the coaches because we've had different coaches, different staff for years. So I believe that we have to find a coach who is the relay coach. Like, and this is no diss to any of the coaches, but the athletes have to stick around the track. We have to get the stick around the track. That's what it is. So I ain't blaming the coach, but we have to get the stick around the track as the athletes first. They can put us out there, but we got to get the job done. But I believe one of these college coaches, I don't know if it's Henry, I don't know if it's Shaver, I don't know which college coaches, you know what I'm saying, are out there. They have so much experience. They have to run 4x1s every year, all type of meets, you know what I'm saying, SECs, regionals, nationals. They have the experience. And I believe we need a dedicated coach with that type of expertise because they do it so much. And let them just take over. Put the pride aside.
Right now? Do we know?
I was told Wallace Spearman is the coach.
That's what I was told.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was true.
I don't know if it's true either, but let me tell you
But
something.
I did hear that.
Michelle Lewis posted on Instagram.
I know Michelle is a girl.
I made it very clear.
I felt like she was making it very clear that I'm the women's relay coach and I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on the
Can I
men's
say
side.
something? And it might be controversial. I really feel like looking at the legs that we had and the 100 boys weren't giving what they supposed to get. Y'all should have gone digging up in the 200. And I know Tasha said they just ran the 200 and they might have been tired. But Andre,
somebody posted,
DeGrasse got his little butt up, ran all the rounds of the 100, got his butt on the podium of the 100, got his butt on the podium of the 200, and real championship runners are ready to run another round for the 4x1.
And I also think that it rests in also what was said earlier about Team USA counting medals before actually going out there. I think we rested in
we're gonna make the final.
Canada didn't have the legs to choose from. We always say our blessing and our curse is that we have we could put anybody out there, and I think that's what we did.
Well,
right.
Put
that
anybody
is
out
not
there
working no more.
instead of
We get to walk
on,
down by
right,
Japan.
instead
No,
of calling
say no
on
tea to
who we
Japan.
needed to call on, whether you tired or not.
Because I'm taking a tired Noah Lyles. Because I know Noah Lyles gonna get me.
I believe that's when leadership comes into place. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I understand coaches get credit for putting the team together, but that's when leadership Whether it's Noah is the next great American sprinter. He has to say, "Hey, I'm going to run." But I know it's sometimes tough for people to come down off that mental high, of winning or getting third or second, and you're with family and you're excited, you're tired. But you have to find leadership,
Yeah.
whether it's Noah, Fred, Ronnie, or Trayvon, whoever it is, someone has to be a leader.
And you
understand what I'm
already knowing they don't want to put night
Like,
on
the last successful relay team I had was I think it was Bahamas Relays. It was myself and Gatlin. I want to say Mike and Ryan Bailey, I think. And we were talking about, we had relay practice and all that stuff. But when it boiled down to it, we all had to discuss, I think it was Gatlin, he just took leadership. You understand what I'm saying? He took leadership. Now his I think it was his what was it? What's it called when you're trying to get people hype?
Bravado, confidence.
His like when you get in everybody, I don't know. But anyway, his motivational thing before the race, right? He basically was like, "Look, guys, we about to go out here and do the damn thing. We about to whoop these guys." And at the end of it, he was like, "Look, man, we got kids to feed," and we all kind of just laughed. You know what I'm saying? We looked around and we're like, "Damn, we all do got kids," and we all just laughed and we're like, "Hell yeah, we got to feed these kids." And it just broke the ice. It wasn't no nervousness. It was just like, all right, let's have fun. And we went out there and kicked ass. You know what I'm saying? It was just about having fun. So someone just has to take leadership. Like I said, for Noah, whoever, because I didn't run the prelims when we won one year, but I ran 4 rounds of the 100 and 4 rounds of the 200. So I had to take a day off. You know what I'm saying? But if you're only running a few races, you can run one more race, so like you said, we have so many options, and I think our ego is so big from years of being so successful and being the most talented, but we don't win because of our options. So we have to take leadership or find a designated coach that practices and understands the egos and put everybody in the right position and let people be comfortable where they want to be comfortable at. Because I see that if you have 3 9/8s on a 4x1 team, it ain't guaranteed you're going to win, but you should be in the finals. So to me, I feel like they stacked the relay up, put the 3 fastest first, and they put the 4th fastest last because they want to give him the lead. But unfortunately, he didn't get the lead because he never was in the lead. So that's my thing. I think they were trying to stack it up and then get him the lead so he can hold on, but he never had it. Like we see colleges do that all the time. They put the person who's not the fastest last going to get in the lead. So I think it just didn't work. I don't know what happened with the sticks, but Fred came in
to go run a monster leg.
Right. We got to get into our Hustle Clean podium picks, but I also want to just say, Breezy, the people don't know you for being a talker, and I just appreciate you for showing up in all your glory and all your knowledge and letting the people see this Tyson Gay, because this is the Tyson that me and BK know, but everybody else doesn't get this. And shout out to you for dropping these gems on us.
Well, now with the men out of the contention,
we starting off with men or women? Which one? I didn't put a W or M up there.
We haven't even talked about the women because I'm gonna tell you why I don't like the women's. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like the women's lineup either.
All right, so then let's start off with the men.
The men, I got China. I got China winning that thing. China has always been y'all have, if you've been paying attention to any championships, China is always right there. Always. Japan they made the podium last World Championship.
They sure did. Last Olympics.
They made the podium.
Last Olympics, Japan was who my eyes was on actually.
Well, Japan made the podium. Semis.
Mm-hmm. Jamaica look good. They look good for the men. I think Jamaica
Canada also really good.
Who?
Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada. Canada do look good. They do look good. I forgot about that. So who went in with the number 1 time?
I'll look that up right now.
I think it was actually Jamaica.
That's why I had Jamaica and Canada. I thought.
That's the thing. To touch on Jamaica, they have one veteran on the team. That's Johan. He ran 3rd leg, if I'm not mistaken. And he could have had pride, ego, and say, "Hey, it's my last Olympic. I'm running anchor." You know what I'm saying?
That's the type of leadership you need, though.
Yeah, but he obviously got his team together and they got through. They made it to the final. You got to make it to the fight.
Exactly. There's no reason why Michael Rogers should not be in Tokyo right now. I don't care what's going on. Michael Rogers should be in Tokyo. because
But I don't think he made the. I don't think he made the finals.
it
Or did
don't
he?
matter. Our federation needs to come up with a different system and be able to. How you gonna have leadership over there is if you, oh well, we're just going by the book. If Johan didn't make their final in their 100 and 200, he would still be in Tokyo. They were still gonna take
Okay.
it.
Oh yeah, we
They-
definitely have different rules
Yeah,
and.
we just
and
have a different approaches. Oh well, we gotta take these people and they gotta take these. You taking a whole bunch of people over there who ain't never ran with each other before. How you gonna gain leadership and confidence and chemistry and something that they trying to figure it out on the fly? Then on top of all of that, you skip training camp. Where
Okay.
they could have been getting to know each other.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna give the lane
I will
assignments.
sit and have this conversation all day.
Yeah, I don't care about the line of the show. In lane 2, we've got Ghana. They are in 38.08. Lane 3, Germany, 38.02. Lane 4, Canada, 37.64. Lane 5, Jamaica, 36.84. I'm like, I don't know why we're talking about China when Jamaica ran 36. Great Britain ran 36. They're in lane 6. Lane 7 is China, 37.79. 8 is Italy, 37.95, and 9 is Japan, 37.43.
Whoa.
Bianca, but I ain't putting China can make the podium, but I don't think they outdo.
They probably won't win it. But one thing about it, if anybody make a mishap on them pass out on them handoffs, China is gonna be at the top. So, but given what you just said, I think Jamaica can hold on because they do have Johan Blake on their team. And I think he is going to give them the confidence because their other kid, I think they have I think the last leg, one of those legs on there are really, really young. Like they just got out of high school. I remember he was at Penn Relays last year. So
Yeah. They did. They had a young leg. I think he ran.
That's a very young kid.
But I also think Canada's getting on the podium purely for the DeGrasse factor.
Purely for the DeGrasse factor. Like, no.
I'm like, at this point, let me make a public announcement. Andre, I am sorry. Because we keep putting your name somewhere and then disrespecting by not actually putting you on the podium. I'm putting your team on because you've been doing wrong.
They weren't gonna get on the podium.
The times that you read were the season's best. Those times were not for this race. Jamaica had the fastest time, 37.82. Then China, 37.92.
Oh, this is
what I'm saying. Misinformation. Misinformation.
Read the PBs, not the
season best. My bad.
Also, Charmaine, to your point about Jamaica leaving McLeod home, they left McLeod home because third place was Parchment. So the place that they can change is the third place. They weren't gonna leave Parchment home.
I made a mistake. Calm down.
No, misinformation. That's what it is. See, then
Honest
I would have picked Jamaica, and she would have been like, "Oh well, oh my bad." Tasha did that to me last week. Well,
Canada,
not last week, 2 days ago.
37.92. Jamaica 37.82. Great Britain 38.02. China 37.92. Italy 30.95. Japan 38.16. My bad. I apologize. Those are the season best. Jamaica still has the fastest time coming in, and I still feel like they can. I still am picking Jamaica for the top spot, unless Bianca says otherwise.
No, I think Jamaica, Canada, China. Jamaica, Canada.
That's what I thought.
That's what y'all locking in?
JCC. What y'all got, Tyson? What y'all got?
What did you say? Jamaica, China, Canada, or Canada, China?
Canada. China.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a blanket finish. DeGrasse gonna have to walk some people down. I already know that. We saw
Great Britain came through too, didn't they?
And they have their team for 4 years straight.
Did GB come through? GB wasn't really that impressive to me, honestly.
But I feel like
we got a couple people injured, but
at this point.
What'd you say, Reezy?
So they got a couple people injured, but I don't want to count them out. You never know, man.
Tyson, can I also call you Reezy?
Yeah. I prefer that.
Okay. What y'all got?
Man, you the team leader. You came in here talking about team leaders. I'm taking your lead, so call it.
I don't know, man, because I'm still confused.
Listen, I did not know we dropped our way back to 6th place either, so I'm definitely confused. We've
No.
never made a final, so
And at first, I had to relook. I was like, oh, we didn't make the final, and I was like, did we drop it? And then I was like, oh, we just
Didn't make the
just
final.
didn't make the final.
I think that's probably the first time we've ever actually finished a race and didn't make it to the finals.
Yeah, the time
Any other
wasn't
time,
fair.
running out of the
They
zone,
definitely should have made the finals, but it just I don't know, because nobody really. I don't know how you have 3 9/8s. I know they don't always mean the best, but hell, Jamaica had all those 9/6s and 9/7s on their team, and
Our
nine,
sticks not moving. Our
and they didn't
sticks
have good sticks either. They just got it around.
10-5.
All right, but we got to do our prediction. We still in shock. Team USA is not there.
I got
Wind dated on the as anchor leg. No shade, no tea.
I got who I got Canada, Great Britain, and Jamaica.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
That don't look bad. That don't look bad. I just don't think China gonna let they got that 9/8 boy on there, and I think they got another sub-10 on China. They
Right,
got 2 sub-10s along with their pristine handoffs. So
I'm locking this in because we don't have time to.
yeah, we can lock that in. I'm confident on that.
Breezy,
Why
Hey,
she
when
ain't
are-
racing?
Get to
Breezy,
Yo,
we locked in.
I'm locked in.
make sure you got it. Now, okay. I'm gonna say this for everybody to hear. Tiana Daniels earned the right to be the anchor leg for the women's 4x1. She's the only U.S. finalist in the Olympics this year. She was the only U.S. finalist in the World Championship last year. She won USA's in 2019. She technically, when she carry out, she won the Olympic trial. I don't know if how that
No,
works.
it's not technically. She's the U.S. champ.
She was trials champ. And I don't think she needs to be on that long second leg. I think she needs to be the anchor leg.
I think second leg is
Gabby needs to we discussed this already.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know that Tiana needs to be anchor leg. That's what I do know.
What do y'all think about the women's order?
I think the people that's supposed to be on relays
I
are
don't-
the ones who have chemistry with each other. I don't think nobody deserves to be on a relay. That's just my opinion on relays. I think the 4 people who has the best chemistry, and sometimes that's not gonna be your person that made a team outright in 100. Sometimes that's not gonna be the favorite or the person who people feel like should be on there. Sometimes it's gonna be that person that you grab from another event that came there on relay duty. And I'm speaking from the fact 2 years that was me.
Mhm.
So I know that chemistry is more important than how we feel or how that athlete feels. You're right. Second leg is not where she should be. If she's going to be on the relay.
I've given the baton to Tiana. She makes it very easy for someone who should not be on anyone's 4x1. She makes it very easy.
No, I didn't say she wasn't supposed to be on there. I said nobody, meaning there's nobody on a 100-meter or 200-meter team who, before you get there and before you do stick passes and before you see who all you got and what you got to work with, you say, oh, this person's supposed to be on there. And that is what Team USA does. We already pick who's going to be on there before we even see.
Second leg.
Yeah, no, if she's going to be on there, then she do need to be last. If they're going to put her on there, she can be last. She shouldn't be in second leg.
So just so that we could, the women's 4x1 in the prelims ran Oliver to Daniels to English to Hobbs.
I do like English on a relay. English is a dog. Tyson
But that's the issues though. Jenna Prandini should have been on that leg.
Jenna should have
been right there.
She probably
the rest for the 200.
Hey, listen. I feel like one thing we're missing is politics. That plays a big factor in who gets some of those spots. So even though, like you say, nobody just deserves to be on the relays, like you say, we need chemistry and all that stuff. Politics plays a big role too, man. You have coaches vouching for the athletes. You have relay coaches. You have I mean, you just have a lot of stuff. You have shoe companies putting their bids in. Everybody
do.
wants to get a medal because it's like it's technically supposed to be the easiest way to get one. So I believe politics has. I don't know who's running the final. Y'all have the final list or no?
Well, we saw Jenna and Gabby practicing, so
And
my,
they're
my,
great
assumption,
like.
my assumption would be that they're coming on.
But Tyson, if you could pick anyone and pick the order, what are you doing?
I'm going. Who was in the finals? I'm going Tiana. She gonna be on it for sure.
What leg?
Tiana. I only see her running last or second.
Not second.
Not second. You gonna put her over Gabby on that long backstretch?
You gonna put it over Jenna? No, Jenna.
I think Gabby can run the hell of the curve too. Well, she not. Oh, I'm not paying attention. I don't know.
No, she can.
She's good at indoors too.
She can.
And
Bianca.
girl got the best start. Oliver got the best start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she's
gonna
first
pop-
leg
she gonna-
hands
She
down.
gonna pop it off. Oh, okay, I got you. She may pop it off, and then she may give it to Gabby, and then Prandini, and then Tiana possibly.
That's my order.
That's my order.
Oh, okay. That's a nice team.
Bianca disagrees. Bianca, let's hear your.
No, it's not that I disagree.
Oh, someone said
Oliver.
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 I messed up. My bad. You're right.
I should be coming through with the facts. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely Oliver popping off 100%. Giving it to Gabby, giving it to Prandini, giving it to Tiana.
Oh, okay.
I think that is safe.
I knew. Yep.
I think that matching Gabby up on the backstretch with Elaine makes sense. I think that if it get into a foot race with Brianna, because if I'm Jamaica, I'm putting Brianna Williams, even though she ran first leg for them in the prelims, I'm putting her on last leg in the final, and I'm putting Shelly back on pop-off. That's what I would do. I'm not sure if they're going to do that, but that's what I would do. I would do from Shelly to Elaine to Sharika to Brianna. That's what I would do for them.
I write this down too.
But who knows? But if it comes in a foot race, for one, let's just say nobody's running with Elaine. Let's just put that out there. It don't matter who we put where. She's
hide
doing her thing right now. So, but I think a better matchup for her is Gabby on that backstretch, and just put Tiana on last leg. I think that's safer. And Prandini.
But that's tough. That's tough, man. Especially when you got. I mean, because you say if you look at somebody and they're not this. I mean, I think you said this, Bianca. Tell me if I got this right. You said if you look at somebody and they're not who they say they was at USA's.
No. I said that Trayvon failed to make the final in the 100 final, and it was. And like I said, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on with him. But in his interview, he was just saying, like, when he was trying to hit his gears, they just weren't there. They just.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he said that. Okay,
so it's more so. Our athletes got over there and they were really, really flat. They seemed really jet lagged and all of that. So it seems that not coming over early and getting acclimated affected some of the athletes.
Right. What about the women? Do you feel like any of the women didn't show up?
With the women, they did look a little flat. A lot of them look flat. Jenna looked very flat. Jenna Prandini looked flat. If she's on the relay, I know she's not hurt. So this is barring nobody's running hurt, because we know that athletes will get out there and run hurt just because they want to be out there. But assuming none of them are actually hurt, they look more flat than anything. Like they just don't have their gears that they had at USA.
Okay.
I would argue you take Jenna off that third leg and put in English or Aaliyah.
That's a good idea.
Aaliyah didn't look that hot to me.
Well, who looks?
I feel like the four that we named is the best that we have.
Yeah, it's as good as it's gonna get. What are you doing off camera?
I'm sorry, I was gonna change the battery, which I'm still gonna do, but
okay.
I mean, that's a lot of women to choose from, a lot of talent. Like, okay, even Bianca knows you could not make the team. I've been in this position. I didn't make the team in 16, but when I got over there doing relay camp, I look better than I did at trials. So they're like, yeah, we can't deny Tyson and Gatlin's chemistry because Tyson getting out, Gatlin's doing. You see what I'm saying? So it was still
Chemistry
there.
is how I got on there,
Some
though.
people
So
can
that's why I
still.
was saying.
Yeah, so some
Chemistry
people
is
doing
important.
relay practice, they can show they look better than someone who didn't make the finals or did make the finals. They can actually look better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can look
Yeah.
better.
I mean, your point about Sharika was definitely walking down Hobbs. So that actually
like
corrects
English.
me because Sharika is 10-8, okay?
Tia
So
Savage.
10-7. So that's Sharika made Aaliyah look bad. Not necessarily that Aaliyah didn't look. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That like, so I'll
Sharika
take
wasn't
that
running
correction.
bad.
You just
Aaliyah
can't
was
have
Think about what Aaliyah going over there with. That crap that happened at USA's. She probably mentally, she might not even really just be over there for real. Like, so you gotta take into that's where it goes back to Tyson with the leadership from the top down, the coaches and the athletes that are around that can actually look at their athletes and determine, like, I don't know, man, we need to figure this out as a team. Like, the chemistry,
and
I
athletes
don't know.
are willing to say, I'm not ready. In 2007, I was on that 4x4, and Oren Richburg, who me and him don't have the best relationship anymore, but in 2007, he was ready to put me on that final, and I said, look, I don't have it. I didn't make it out of the semis. I didn't feel great in that prelim. I'm not going to do that to my team. I was only 21, fresh out of just
That's
signed
real
my
rap raw.
professional contract. So
But they're not gonna do that.
but I'm not going to put my team on the line knowing that I don't feel the best
And
going
that's
out
integrity, and that's actually being.
So
You're being non-selfish.
Putting your pride to the side is huge because, like Bianca said, a lot of people not gonna do it. If they feel a tweet, they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to get their medal. The coaches are gonna keep it a secret if they hurt. They ain't gonna tell nobody. They're gonna do whatever they gotta do to get their athlete a medal.
I remember my
See, people need to hear that story. Athletes need to hear that story so they can understand we have to do what's best for the team. All right, I got one question. So
I was gonna ask y'all who we got.
let me change this battery because we going
keep
over
talking.
today.
What's your question, Ty?
All right, my question is this: would you guys, considering that we still have a good team out there, right?
Yeah.
With the women, we have a good team, especially based on names and personal best and stuff. We have a good team out there. Would you guys, considering Jamaica is the top dogs, right? Would you guys fly in to Carrie on a private jet and let her come in and do her thing and show up? Would y'all do that?
No.
I put Allison on before that. No shade, no tea.
No.
Oh, Allison on the relay?
Allison,
She
seen her, but not that I've seen. But no, I
don't
would.
think the schedule.
But she not in the pool?
Allison got to run that 400 later. I don't think
she had the 400 final.
Yeah,
and you know
she can't do it because of the schedule. So she can't do it because of the schedule.
Got other stuff to do.
Allison got a private jet back to Cammie soon too.
Oh yeah. I get it. But I'm asking, would you guys do that?
No, he said not Spirit. Get Shakira.
Because it's not like you said. It's not the speed that we're missing.
Yeah, we're
not missing the speed. Yeah, if she was over there, she'll just be over there in the same predicament that we in. She'll still have to end up walking somebody down.
And I don't know how the chemistry.
I know, but I'm saying that. Do you think that guarantees a medal? Do you think with the team that we're going to put out there, it's all about getting top three? Jamaica can fumble the stick. Anything can happen. We all know this. Anything can happen. But as it looks, Jamaica should win by a large amount. They should. But
we're for podium
with the team, with all the women we have out there, do you think that they will be top three?
I'm gonna say no, and here's why I'm gonna say no. Because one thing that we have been harping on over and over and over is about chemistry. Chemistry. And when I say this, please nobody misconstrue what it is that I'm saying, because I enjoy the spiciness of it all. But some of the things that she's been tweeting leads me to believe, how does that fit into the chemistry of the team?
Oh, you're talking about
right?
Okay.
And so,
yeah,
I enjoy the spiciness of it all. I've said that before. I'm a Carrie fan, but if we're over here talking about chemistry, And a lot of those tweets have been throwing shade at her own teammates and competitors. I don't know how we. So
And also,
and she broke the rule.
and,
So
we ain't
it's
got
a
no time to do
non-starter.
practice, and we have no time to do practice.
Yeah, it's a non-starter.
But
So
I don't think nobody's having time to really practice. Really, like I don't think nobody had relay camp this year. I don't think.
Oh, you ain't gotta think. We definitely didn't. 100%.
Yeah.
we didn't. We're talking. Another thing that we skipped over. We've been talking about camp, but we haven't been talking about. We at least have Penn relays, Texas relays, Mount Sac relays. We have the opportunity to run some relays
Texas
throughout
relays.
the year, and we didn't have any of that this year. So it's
Right.
it's an accumulation of lack of opportunity to compete and train as a relay.
I
as
read an
well.
article that they said they did handoffs. They had 5 practices. 5.
I believe
Because
the U.S.
everybody was
I believe
focused
the
on that
women.
individual.
I believe Jamaica,
Okay.
the U.S.
Okay.
And I want to say, I'm gonna go Germany.
I want to put Great Britain on there, but I'm like, I don't know if Dina's hamstring's gonna last. Like, she made it through.
Girl,
Man.
please. She blazed that third leg. She looked good. Dana looked good.
Nina look
Maybe
good.
she got enough treatment.
She looked
I don't
good.
know, Tyson. We sure about this? I don't know if I'm comfortable leaving Great Britain off.
Don't be trying to take my little insight
No.
and then put it
I
up.
wasn't.
No, because you said you riding with your partner.
I am riding with my
you
partner.
gonna take my information
but-
and my
but
insight.
no. Great Britain did a national record in the prelim.
Who did?
And then it must be
Great Britain.
nasty.
Oh
Great
yeah.
Had a national
Yeah.
record. And
They look good.
They look good.
They
I
look
want to
really
do
good.
USA, Great Britain. What you think?
You want to do Jamaica, USA? Okay. Jamaica, Great Britain, USA.
Okay. I just am a little concerned because while Great Britain has, because they had their relay.
Great Britain got some good stick passes because them girls been running together for a minute. So
And
I
the speed passes in some cases can be more.
But my
important
concern is, Dina looked good, but will she stay looking good?
I think so. Dina don't strike me as the type of person that'll go out there if she felt unfit.
Well, she didn't.
She scratched out of the 200.
She exactly. She scratched out of it because she didn't
So
feel.
She nice and fresh.
Who scratched out? Dina.
Dina,
Dina,
her hamstring
She
was bothering her.
probably done that. She probably done that for relay contention. Period.
Because
Yeah.
for the
Period.
the fact that they came out and broke their national record, to me,
Yeah.
they've been working.
Okay. Well. Okay. I'll put them in third then.
But
It was
Germany
a toss
and
up
Swiss
between
do
them
look
and
good,
Germany.
Tyson,
I'm
so
gonna
that
put them.
wasn't bad. That
Put
wasn't
an
a bad pick.
I hate us so much. We can't ever make good decisions.
The Swiss look good too. You know, one of they girls is sub 10.
They got 2
sub 11.
and that other girl.
Oh yeah.
The Swiss got a good team. They got a really good team.
I'm gonna put our asterisk for the Swiss then. Y'all get to have Germany as 4th. We get Swiss as 4th.
Yeah.
It's Great Britain.
tough.
I'm locking this in though because we got 12 minutes to do it. In Tyson's just come back is what I decided.
Yeah, because Tyson.
I'm an executive decision. I'm gonna be leadership on this couch.
Like Bianca, Tyson has a wealth of things that we can and need to talk about. So we're gonna talk to you for a little bit, but we're gonna definitely bring you back.
I also have to.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, we locked in for a Hustle Clean podium pick so the women's 4x1.
And the men's 4x1.
And the men's 4x1. We're gonna be posting it on Twitter so you can do a little poll. People watching, you can vote whether you team Tyson, team Bianca. I ain't taking credit for nothing right now because I don't even know what's going on. And now we're gonna Bianca, thank you so much for coming today again.
Thank you for dropping the gem.
Insight.
2 days out of the week for you. I'm gonna be back on Twitter with you watching these races.
Also, I would like to apologize to Natasha. That's why I took you as my teammate because I would never throw you on the bus like Tasha did on Twitter.
Yeah, about what, DeGrasse?
listen. I ain't throw you under the bus. I just wanted to say that I was being a team player, but
No,
But
I'm
but I
going
was
rogue
playing with
Right.
you
and
for
saying the process
Delilah when
was
I
like, oh
said
shit.
You know what?
Sydney
You
will.
stole
I
from Nia
said
Ali.
Sydney will win, and you like, no, I want to put Delilah, and I'm like, all right, well, let's just go ahead and put
Right. I let my
Delilah.
bias get in the way of that one. You right.
I'm just saying that she don't want no smoke from Nia Ali, and she was like, before I see Nia in these streets, let me just tweet out that I'm Team DeGrasse. That's what I feel like was
That's
happening,
what you feel
and
like.
she threw me on the bus to do that.
All right. I'm
No,
gonna let
that's
you.
fine because I definitely said he would break up the sweep, so I didn't have him
We
just
had
not
all the
there.
motive to know where.
Yeah, I had him up there. I just didn't. I wanted us to sweep that thing. So
I mean, we swept. He just
No, that's not a
swept
sweep.
us a little bit back.
yeah, it was kind of a sweep, kind of.
Okay, Bianca, thank you so much for coming. Make sure you follow Bianca Knight. What's your handle on Twitter and Instagram?
You know, it's Miss Bianca AK. I think most of the people here probably already know that though. It looked like the same.
No, I don't have to go on. You know it. Thank you for coming, Bianca. And now we're gonna get into Tyson. I have a couple questions for you. Let me pull up my questions. I know my first one is we were kind of talking about how you laid back, Mr. Cool, mellow dude, and you see I feel like that's a little different from the personality we usually see with 100 guys. We usually see, you know, a little bit more boisterous, a little bit louder, you know, doing a lot of they all got they're all signature little move at the line. And Tyson just, I'm ready to get this money. Like, I'm ready to go to work. What is your mentality going to the line?
Just that. You just said it. Sorry. Go ahead, Tyson.
Yeah, that's it, man. I just be focused and trying to win. You know, I truly believe like the difference between me and guys now, I feel like times have just changed. So I feel like a lot of athletes are more what's the word you're looking for? Outgoing and all these things because they have to show their personality now because of social media. So some of those guys probably really want to be cool and calm, collected, but they have to do things now to try to get sponsors and everything like that, and you know, stuff like that. But for me, I'd rather just be focused on what I got to do. I don't have time to be thinking about a pre-dance before I'm getting in the block. So anything like that, I have to be focused and just and worry about getting around the track and you know my just running. Like I don't want to think about nothing else after the race.
I feel you completely. I felt that in my soul. I ain't got time to be worried about a pre-race dance. So I guess my question is, do you feel like nowadays there's more emphasis on personality than talent?
Yeah. I mean, the talent is still there. Don't get me wrong. This is one of the best Olympics ever, considering we have no fans. People are getting sick. It's possibly dangerous. People are still showing up and doing things while getting virtual support. So I believe the talent is still there, but I believe nowadays the kids, they want to run fast, but they want to go viral. So you know what I'm saying? They want to win, but I want to go viral. Even if I don't win, I want to go viral. You know what I'm saying? So
I see him like preparing for that moment, like bringing out. I already wrote on the back of my bib number, which means you have to constantly be like, I'm gonna put a permanent marker in my bag when they give me a bib number while I'm putting my uniform on. I'm writing, "Hey mom," which I'm like, sorry mom, I'm not thinking about you in the hipping tent. Like I'm just like, I gotta go get it.
Yeah, everything.
We're back in the hotel room because we
No.
had our bib numbers.
But you know they have to put the little digital thing on it. And or they've already written something on the shoe, which is, you know,
Yeah,
they're
but the
bringing a
digital
hat
thing,
or whatever.
They give you there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like you still
Either way, like you're bringing some, you know, it's prepared a lot of times. I got another question for you because I feel like you technically are so. How do you run the perfect 100?
Nowadays, I feel like it's giving it your all and having mental control because, like we said, we wanted the U.S. to sweep. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't going to be an easy win because hats off to what's his name from Italy. I can't remember his name, but hats off to him because he wasn't going to be. Yeah, he wasn't going to be easy to beat. But at the same time, I feel like how you run a perfect race is being in your own zone, focused on run the court with your coach, focused on your lane, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we get so caught up into the technique side of things when sometimes you just got to, excuse my language, I don't like a word, you just got to grab your balls and go because you don't have time to think about, I did this, I came up out my drive phase, I did, you know what I'm saying? You have to focus on you, stay relaxed, and go. And if you want to run faster, relax some more. You want to run faster, relax some more. That's just what you have to do and just try to get all the pressure off of you and just run your race. I think that's how you run the perfect race, in my opinion. All the extra stuff when it comes to the games, all the extra stuff, it doesn't matter anymore. You're stepping on the line. Like one thing that I seen that was amazing to me was the Warhome, right? The guy mentally prepared himself to die. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, but you get my point. You know what I'm saying? He was slapping himself in the face. He was preparing himself mentally what he had to do for that race, right? That's what he did. And he was prepared to die. If I die, I die. And then when Rod ran up on him, he grabbed his balls and said, let's go. You see what I'm saying? So that's just what you have to do at this level. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just come up short in life. I get it. But at this level, you just have to go, man, and relax. And let everything fall into place. You've been training for 10 months. How many months have you been training? 10 months. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that moment, 10 months of training, just go. You know what I mean? Like, don't think no more.
I always tell the story how me and Coach Lawman got in a fight before World Championships because this girl's coach wouldn't let me use the blocks. And he was like, you can't move her block. She's working on something right now. And I'm like, we 5 minutes to the World Championship Finals. What the heck could you be working on right now? You just better get ready to run. You worry about your block settings right now? Like, what are we doing? But we talked about leadership in the men's 4x1. And me and Josh were kind of talking about, like, there's always been that dude who sat on the throne. And I feel right now we've got a lot of princes. Who do you think is going to be the next king of the sprints in the 100? Who's going to be that guy? Is it Ronnie? Is it Fred? Is it Trayvon?
I think that's the hardest question I've ever been asked.
Well, Summer, we keep it real. We bring the culture of track and field here.
Yeah,
That's hard.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it's hard. Because it's hard because the king took a little vacation this year. So when he comes back,
and Coleman comes back to Pride Rock,
we have a new person in the ball game. You know what I'm saying? So now it's about who got the biggest kahunas. Because when he come back, he gonna be mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be ready to run. He gonna be ready to whoop anybody. He gonna be ready to prove all the doubters wrong who are saying this or saying that. He gonna have a chip on the shoulder, and he gonna get out of it. And he's already at 9.76 guy. Bromell 9.77. 9.8 for Fred. 9.7 for Baker. 9.80 for Marvin Bracey. We just have so many people, so many options. So it's going to be whoever just mans up.
So that's my question.
But if you had to put money on it,
if
put it on.
We can say Christian Coleman, but does Christian Coleman have the attitude and the responsibility, accountability that goes into being a leader? Because you can, because
if you can't get to the meet because you ain't do your workouts.
If we saying that
I believe Christian Coleman,
then Trayvon should be the leader, and we're saying that we're not really seeing it from him just yet.
I believe Christian Coleman is going. He's going to have to learn some of those things that you just talked about, and I think he will, because track and field is a very forgiving sport. If you take ownership to mistakes, it's very forgiving. You know what I'm saying? We can name a lot of people who've had a lot of mishaps in the sport.
Mistakes.
It's very forgiving. You know what I mean? Just like Sha'Carri, she said she made a decision to do what she done. She takes responsibility for it, and the world forgave her. You know what I mean? So I think he will be forgiven when he came back. And once he runs fast, it seems like people kind of forget about other things. As long as you take accountability for your mistakes. But honestly,
Because
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest. It hurt me not seeing Baker get a medal. I'm close to Baker. That hurt. That's family. So I really feel like he has the tools. Damn, it's a lot of guys. I think he has the tools to be the next guy. He had the attitude. He had everything. It just wasn't his day. Trayvon has it too. He was so successful this year. I don't know what happened. You know, I haven't spoken with him. I don't know what happened. I guess it just wasn't his day. A lot of people are assuming he was hurt.
But here's where I disagree with you. Like, if you gonna be the king, Tyson, you gonna say it wasn't my day, you gonna beat your day.
You say what?
In the 100, I feel like when I think about the greats from Carl Lewis to
Right.
you,
Oh,
Gatlin,
you're absolutely right.
there is a energy and a confidence to say it may not be my day, but I'm making it my day.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't like,
absolutely.
and I feel like I feel like I'm looking for that from, because that's
Right. I'm gonna be real right now with the confidence thing, because I believe Baker has had some injuries he had to overcome and things like that. But with the confidence thing, the person who has that right now is Fred. His confidence
what I've
on
been saying.
Instagram, Twitter, he believes in putting stuff out there in the atmosphere and the universe. I don't know if it's manifestation, whatever it is, and he backed up everything he done. You know, so if anyone has the kahunas and say, "Hey, I'm going to do it," it's him.
What are you doing?
He said
I'm
something.
gonna make you believe what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm reading his caption from today. He said, "Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it. They pay me to show you I do it again."
Come
That's
on,
what Chris posted today.
come on.
We are believing in him.
I'm Fred a big dog. I've been saying that, like, he's a big dog. I don't know if it's embarrassing or if he's just talented. One minute I thought it was embarrassing for a guy to come to.
It's his swag.
Because I remember when I met him in 2017 after he had the year that he had at Texas A&M. Me and Mike T were at US Nationals doing a pre-meet shakeout or whatever, and Fred Curley walked up and he said, it was just I don't even remember what he said. It was just a, "Hey, how you doing?" And I turned to Mike T and I said, "That boy is about to be a problem." It was just in his aura that he knew as a kid coming from college that y'all ain't messing with me. I'm
I
here.
was told when he was in college. I don't know if it's a true story, but someone told me when he was in college, he used to listen to that R. Kelly song. I think it's R. Kelly, "I'm the Greatest." You know what I'm talking about?
We don't support R. Kelly on this, but yes, I know exactly what song you're talking about.
That song, "I'm the Greatest," I was told he used to listen to that song every morning and wake his roommates up. That song would play every morning, "I'm the Greatest." So
Here's what I'm saying to say. You said when it comes down to run a great race, you gotta pick your balls up. Oh, Fred got some balls
That boy
to pick up.
he's
Okay,
carrying the boy.
like he got some big balls. Is all I'm saying.
a lot of people don't like when you get fourth, it gets overshadowed. But people don't understand this man dropped down to the 100, made the team, and missed the 200 team by this much. And we can always talk about lanes. If he would have had an outside lane, you know, all these other factors. He's tall, he had the inside lane, but the guy has really stepped up and said he wants to be the man. He just straight up done it.
And the type of cojones it takes to say, I know we all know I can make this team in the 400. It's a sure, nothing's a sure bet. But Fred Curley made the team in the 400. No one's going to blink twice at that. But to say I'm going to
on the 4x4,
run with the big dogs in the 1, the 2, and bet on. He said, "I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna bet on you too, Fred."
what?
I'm like, I'm really paid because I'm a fan.
We have so much upcoming young talent coming up in the U.S. And I really believe that these guys in the U.S. is in good hands. Especially next year with world champs being in the States, right? I believe these guys are going to step up. They're going to show off for the hometown. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a crowd in the stands. It's going to be crazy. I believe one of those guys, either Fred, who else we got? We got Fred, Baker, Ronnie, Trayvon. We got Noah. We got other guys. I'm probably leaving out somebody, but I believe, Coleman. I believe one of those guys are going to come close to the world record in the 100. Definitely the American record. I believe one of those guys is going to come close to it, if not a couple of them. Oregon has this magical atmosphere thing going on. People run fast there, and sometimes they have a tendency not to run fast outside of Oregon. I just believe these guys are going to, show up. And whoever wins next year, I do believe is going to be the king. That's just real.
Well, I want to take a little walk down memory lane because I know you and Tasha go back. I need a little Tasha Tyson story, and I need some inside information on Tasha back in the day.
Tyson ain't got no story. I have a Tyson story.
I would like
I
to
don't
hear
think
it.
Tyson have no stories about me.
Well, Mike Tinsley did.
Yeah, but which is funny enough. I was training with Tyson when that story happened. So I guess what we would call my rookie year. Oh, there we are at the closing
Aww.
ceremonies in 16. That was my rookie year. I came down to Claremont to train with Tyson, Veronica Campbell. Who else was in the group at the time? Derek. What was Derek's last name?
Derek Williams, Aaron Armstrong.
Dick was there.
A couple other people.
So again, this is the person that like everybody doesn't get to see. Everybody sees the businessman on the truck, right? So I moved down to Claremont. I'm this fresh out of college, got a little money in my pocket, and first of all, everybody in the group took me under their wings. Like it was the names that I just named. Like by the time I went there, they were Tyson Gay, Veronica Campbell. Like they were those people. So I went to buy my first car, and long story short, I only got the car because Tyson came with me because I had no credit. I had a little money in my pocket, but I had no credit. And the dealer was like, yeah, so you didn't really get approved, but Tyson is here with you, so we're gonna let you drive off this lot. Also, I didn't have I had to have this car. I had to have a red G37S Infiniti. And it was a manual. So I couldn't drive a stick. So the story that I always love telling about Tyson is Tyson came to the dealership with me. I bought this car. I could not drive this car. And we get off the lot and we get to a red light. Light turns green. Anybody that drives stick, you have to balance the clutch and the gas. And this clutch, it was a very stiff clutch. I came off the clutch too fast, and the car stalled out. So I immediately started panicking. Cars behind me beeping, get out the way. And Tyson is in the passenger seat, and he says, "You got this. Relax. They're gonna have to wait."
Say it louder because I was gonna make it clear.
Sorry. Tyson just put his hand across me, like, "You got this. Don't worry about them. They gotta wait. Just take a deep breath. Put the car in neutral. Over." True story.
That's the type of energy we need going on to this forward one.
Like straight up. But then the very next week, we all lived in the same apartment complex, and we lived on this hill down the street from practice. So he gave me that energy coming off the lot, right? But then the very next week, we go into practice. All the guys were in one car going to practice, and I'm driving my little, I feel like I'm big hot stuff in my car. I stall at the light. Tyson is hanging out of the window. "Get this car out the way. Move."
Because it's different when you late to practice. No one's
Move this car out the way.
I mean,
I end up being that person in the back of you, right?
Yes, exactly. But that's my Tyson Gay story. I don't think Tyson don't have no. I
don't really have a lot of stories with Tasha like that. Like that was what you call a moment. You know what I'm saying? Tasha's always been dear to me. Tasha and I both we both have a different type of mental approach, how we observe things, and I think that's where our connection came over the years, especially when it came to track and stuff like that. how you want to handle races, how you want to handle nerves, things like that. So we've had deep conversations, and we've created that chemistry just based off a lot of mental things when it comes to track and life and things like that. So she's always been a good person, a good friend to talk to when it comes to life or handling track situations. So that's kind of where our connection came from.
And I have to say, Tasha talks about you with the highest regard. She is very protective of you. She says, you know, Tyson is the kindest soul I ever met. And in my experience with you, you've always been so kind and so sweet. I'm like, this is Tyson Gay. He's taking the time to talk to me. But yeah, you can definitely tell that Tasha really loves and
I
respects.
do.
And
And what she's referencing
I'm not even
is
gassing.
when we were putting together the guests for the show, and talking about today is a relay day. I was like, if anybody comes crazy at my dog over the relays, like we gonna have some. So that's what she's referring to. That like I don't play about Tyson.
I don't play about Allison. I don't play about
I appreciate the love, man.
I feel like we are already over time, like we always are. So we have to
But we're gonna have
wrap
you
it.
back.
We're gonna have you back.
All right, appreciate that. I appreciate you guys having me too, man. I really appreciate it. So have me on again when we're talking about something else. I'm normally on the serious type, but even if it's something casual, make sure you invite me.
We're gonna have you back.
We're gonna have you back. We like to have fun, but we also like getting the master class from the masters themselves. So thank you guys for joining us today. Be sure to follow us everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. Follow Track Girl Summer on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter. Follow Tyson. Drop your handle so people can follow you.
Tyson L. Gay on Twitter, on Instagram.
And is there any way people can support you, send you money, purchase something of yours?
Nah, not yet. I'm kind of in between stages right now where I still train. I still love it. Injuries be catching up to me and stuff just with age and so forth. But I think I'm a dabble into coaching or whatever. So if someone wants to reach out, right now I just give out advice. Someone will work. I just give out advice right now. But I'm dibbling, dabbling. I just need the confidence and need some support to make that jump.
We're gonna get on the phone and talk to you about this because you Tyson Gay
To be paying for that advice.
And support. Well, if you can't purchase any merch of Tyson's right now, but you can still send a Black woman some money today. Don't forget to do that. Tomorrow morning before the show, if you just want to spend like 4 straight hours with us, we'll be doing a watch party at 8:15 Eastern.
Yes.
We'll be watching the men's 4x1, and you'll get our live reaction. We're having a watch, and then again on Saturday we'll same thing, same time, with World Athletics doing a watch party for the men and women's 4x4. So be sure to come back here to do our show, same place, same time, and you can see if Tyson and Natasha's or me and Bianca's predictions were right. And remember, no matter what time of year it is, it's always a Track Girl Summer, baby. So thank you guys for having us. I'm getting off because I have to go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh.
Bye, guys. Bye, Tyson.
All right, good to have you. Peace.